Here we go, night 3, talking about the Coral Gables single family home real estate market. Okay, I've gotten some feedback that I should be in Coral Gables talking about the Coral Gables market. And maybe that's true. Is it super boring seeing me in this room? Probably so. So maybe I need to spice it up a little bit. But I'm just trying to bring you guys really good data for the neighborhoods you want to know about in Miami. Lindley, how's the market? Well, you know what? If you're interested in the Coral Gables home market, now's your chance to tune in and learn about it. So I'm sorry if it's a snooze fest. Trying to make it interesting and sitting inside this room is just what makes the most sense. I'm going to dive into it because every night I talk too long and I'm determined not to talk too long tonight. So, Coral Gables homes. Here's what I have to tell you tonight, okay? It's good stuff. We have seen quite an uptick in the number of houses on the market. So we're looking at this light green bar. This is how many houses are on the market. Woo, we saw a big dip. This is January of 2022. We were down to a whopping 75 houses on the market. And if we follow this chart, you see we're going up, up, up. In August, we had 150 houses on the market. Now, the dark green bar is the number of sales we had. Shocking to see this many sales when you only have this many listings. There's usually a bigger difference between these two numbers. So the Coral Gables home market has been super hot, but we're definitely seeing a trend downwards in the number of sales relative to the listings on the market. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But right now in Coral Gables, we have 161 houses on the market. 161. That's not that many. Get this. Only 13 of them are listed for less than $1 million. 13. It used to be like there weren't, it wasn't like so many houses in the Gables were worth more than $1 million. $1 million was more in the middle. No, of 161, only 13 are under $1 million. 37 are listed between 1 million and 2 million, which means there are currently 101 homes on the market in the Gables listed for more than $2 million, which is 2/3 of all the listings. 2/3 of every house of all the homes on the market in the Gables are listed for over $2 million. Now, of all those houses on the market, the average listing has been on the market for 110 days. That's a long time because we were seeing homes selling very, very quickly a year ago. So the fact that today the average listing has been on the market 110 days in Coral Gables, that's a little bit long. I'm going to get to a summary at the end here. But here we go. I'm back on the inventory chart for Coral Gables. This is going back pre-pandemic. So here we saw what I just showed you, this dip down, and then we're starting to see this spike up. But looking at where we are in Coral Gables right now as far as inventory goes and comparing it to when the pandemic started, which is over here in March of 2020. I mean, this is a dramatic decrease in the number of houses on the market. So while I do caution us against how much growth we've seen since January, I will remind you that we are still way below the levels that we had pre-pandemic when frankly things were fairly normal. So we can handle more houses on the market, but we just need to keep the sales going. All right. This is what I find really interesting, and this is why I'm saying this. I compared how many sales we've had this year, 2022, compared to how many sales we had in Coral Gables last year, 2021. So the blue is 21, the green is 22. January was pretty even. February, this year our sales slowed down. Wow, look at March. Holy cow, look at April. This year we sold 44 homes, and last year we sold 104 homes in April. Okay? And that trend continues. May, about half as many. June, less than half as many. July, less than half as many. August. Okay. In other words, we're going to sell this year a little more than half of the number of homes that we sold last year. So last year, there were 832 homes that sold the whole year. The year before that, so the first year of the pandemic, there were 619 sales. So we have so far this year 373 sales. At this point last year, we had 670 sales or something. So we're literally selling half the number of homes this year that we sold last year. Partly that's because the number of houses that were available went down. But as we just saw, they're going up and sales aren't going up with it. So we've got to keep our eye on that. The other thing I find interesting, and I'm switching now to show you all the closed sales. This is now 22, 21, 20, and 19. What I find interesting is in August, September, October, November, and December, we had more sales in 2020, right when the pandemic started, than we did last year. And this year is just way below those numbers. So we're going to continue to see low closings, I believe, for the rest of the year in Coral Gables. And I do think we're going to continue to see the homes on the market go up. And if we see the days on market, if homes are taking longer to sell, it's just going to take this Coral Gables single family home market to a different place. Here's what I'm getting at. If you live in Coral Gables and you've been thinking about selling, I might go ahead and do that now. Okay, but this is the good news. Everybody that lives in Coral Gables, you should be thrilled if you bought your house before 2020 because the price per square foot has really gone up. So check this out. The average sold price per square foot in August of 2020 was $700. For a non-waterfront home. I do have to say, I've pulled out the waterfront homes from this chart just because they really skew the numbers. So the average price per square foot of a non-waterfront home in August was $717. Compare that to August last year when we were at $550 per square foot. Compare that to August of 2020 when we were at $450 per square foot. So in 2 years, we've gone from the average price per square foot being $450 to now being $717. And you can see that in June, it was even higher. So quite interesting. But this is what I think is the most important. I talk about the metric, the months of inventory being the most important metric we have in our market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. Anything more than 9 months would be a buyer's market. So we got as low as less than 1 month of inventory back in March. But we are definitely on the rise. So number of houses are going up, number of closings are not. So the months of inventory that we have is going up, which means if no more homes came on the market today, how long would it take us to sell the houses that we currently have on the market? It would take almost 5 months. Okay. We're getting to a point where it's no longer going to be a seller's market. We are going to tip to a buyer's market. We're going to go neutral for a minute. And then I predict it's going to become a buyer's market, which is why I said a minute ago, if you live in the Gables and you've been waiting, you've been thinking about wanting to sell your house and you've been waiting, don't wait. Now is the time. Inventory is going up. Sales have slowed down. Are we going to look back and say, should have sold in 2021? Maybe. We don't know that yet, but the market in Coral Gables is changing. This is different than the picture I painted 2 days ago when we looked at the overall market in Miami. I think it's a little bit more pronounced right now in the Gables. I hope you found this interesting. I tried to keep it shorter tonight than I have the past 2 nights. I will be back tomorrow night. And, Christy, does waterfront home include homes on the waterway? Yes. Homes on the waterway are considered waterfront, and I pulled them out of that price per square foot, because homes on the waterway, even if you have bridges to the bay, they're going to sell for a higher price per square foot than a dry lot. So that's why I pulled them out. And I'm actually going to do one of these on waterfront homes in particular. So we'll get to that data later in October. I hope you like this. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's thick information, but I'm trying to take the how's the market question that I get all the time and give it to you all in a way that makes sense instead of just throwing charts at you and expecting you to know what they mean. So I hope you found it valuable. I welcome feedback. I'm sorry I'm in a boring room, but this is just, I think, what makes the most sense. If you have any ideas for me, please shoot them my way. I'm very open. So thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow when we're going to talk about Coconut Grove single family homes. Bye.